eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's said to be twice as effective as talk therapy for helping people overcome trauma, as well as the trauma that underlies a lot of anxiety and depression. EMDR is a process that helps people resolve unresolved source injuries. And even that neural pathway of not feeling good enough or not feeling safe, that can be leveled off so people can have a more balanced emotional state and balanced behavior. How our brain works, it can store injury, whether it's real or perceived injury. It doesn't have to be real. If we perceive it as a life or death situation, it will harm. There's something to do with bilateral stimulation. It taps into the unconscious mind, which they refer to as the adaptive information processor. Think about it like a supercomputer. You're tapping into the unconscious, which is probably 90-95% of what's there. We only have so much in our conscious day-to-day thinking. Imagine you and I thinking our conscious mind should sort out the back. It's huge, massive amounts of data. So with eye movement or EMDR, it somehow surpasses the conscious mind into the unconscious and helps recode, restore some of the filing system. It's very interesting because no one really knows how it works. What we do know though is a heck of a lot of evidence that it works. The best hypothesis is that our right brain, left brain don't encode trauma or traumatic injury very well and they get stuck. And you can tell like there's something going on when you keep trying to change a behavior, but it doesn't seem to work. Very good skills, adaptive ideas, intellectual ideas you have don't seem to be able to solve the problem. The bilateral stimulation helps the mind move past the conscious part into the unconscious. It taps into your unconscious adaptive processing and helps those files to get sorted out. I've seen people access memories from before verbal, possibly before being 2. They've been in vitro. There are source files back to the original injuries, sometimes as early on as birth or pre-birth or just after birth, or injuries can happen throughout the developmental years, and those injuries aren't wrestled with or coded well, and they can bother people into their adulthood. One person, for instance, was struggling with anger. When people wouldn't listen to this person, they get very, very angry and burst out, to the point of costing tens of thousands of dollars in the legal system, and wondered why. Well, using the EMDR process, this one person went back in EMDR to when he was 17 and 15 and 13. You do a pass. You come down. Take a few deep breaths. Tell me what you saw. At one pass, this person saw, I was looking up, and I saw a lot of people. I said, well, how old would you be? Don't know. Well, guess. Maybe 2. And I did one more pass. The person then said, I'm still yelling, I'm screaming, they can't hear me, they're not listening. I said, maybe you could check with someone in your family, because we don't always know what that source is. It might have happened before we had vocabulary. And the person checked with a family member. In the next session, they told me that they found out they had fallen into a pool. They had been dropped into a swimming pool before the age of 2, and that was what he was witnessing. He was seeing that. And you can imagine how that would trigger being very, very upset when people don't hear you. Very, very concerned when people aren't listening to you. It's encoded, but it's not encoded accurately. However that got encoded affected his behavior when people wouldn't listen to him years and years later, to the point of being in trouble with all kinds of relationships, breaking up, splitting up, difficulty with the law. One thing EMDR isn't is hypnosis. So people are wide awake. You would be wide awake and fully conscious. And they do let us know too that once you have EMDR that day, the rest of the day, into 2 or 3 days later, your brain's still processing. So you'll have pop-ups and memories come up that could be out of the ordinary. You don't even know why they're there, but it's your unconscious mind still kind of balancing out some of the coding that went on with respect to that neural pathway or that traumatic injury from the past. EMDR is one psychotherapeutic technique that can help a lot of people overcome injuries from the past and better manage anxiety and depression and addictions. If you want more information, give us a call, reach out, definitely hit subscribe and hit the notification bell as well, and you'll receive a notification about our latest video as they come out to help you with your mental fitness. It takes bravery, it takes courage. You can do it. Take care.